Okay, I'm going to talk briefly and get us to the coffee break here about transportation planning implications of automated connected vehicles. And this is a research project 6848 sponsored by TxDOT through the RTI division. And what this project is really about is about long-range planning. And what we're realizing out there is that there are prototype autonomous vehicles driving around Austin today, and they are the Lexus vehicles that have the drivers in them. But I've also heard news that the little koala cars that actually have no drivers in them and can drive around by themselves are soon coming to Austin as well. So right here in Texas, we're testing the technology. There are lots of original equipment manufacturers, auto companies, and other manufacturers out there that are also testing the products. And actually, all of this technology has been in development for several decades now through FHWA, through Connected Vehicle Research, and what we used to call ITS. I like to say that automated connected vehicles is the big green monster that ate ITS, because we're calling it something different now. So the tasks in our project are to define current and future technology, just to sort of introduce the technology in a short chapter, to look at the potential impacts of both personal and commercial travel, to do a little bit of modeling, impacts to the travel forecasting process, to see what it is that we can do to add to some of the information that might be used in 2045 or 2050 plans. To do a little behavioral preferences survey, kind of survey what the public thinks about this technology, and then get a little bit more feedback, a lot more than what we can do here today, but I'd be happy to talk with you further about the technology at the break or later today. AVCV, Automated Vehicle Connected Vehicle Technology, will impact and create more data than just about any other technology that's come along or anything in our recent history. So we're talking about impacting everything from mobility accessibility to the way that we build our infrastructure, to safety and security. Obviously, safety is the prime directive of automation right now, and I think we're shortly, within the next 5 years, are going to see a dramatic reduction in fatalities and other accidents, and definitely in fender benders. Equity and transportation cost structures, these things could be impacted, how we pay for transportation, vehicle ownership, different types of ways of paying for each trip, which could impact public transportation significantly, and of course freight and commercial transportation. And there's another research project that's going on that's about platooning vehicles, platooning trucks. And I think it's a 3-phase study, and we're talking about doing a prototype test run probably within the next 5 or so years, where we would actually platoon 18-wheelers in a demonstration. When I started looking at this, it's really not just about the automated connected vehicles themselves. What we really need to think about in terms of long-range transportation planning is about an automated personal mobility environment, and that's an environment that includes the obvious things, our smartphones, which maybe 10 years ago we didn't even have the word around smartphone, but they're really ubiquitous today, and will soon become integrated into the Internet of Things. The Internet is connecting us in all kinds of ways, and we heard this morning about GIS and data. Data could be coming in directly from vehicles and directly from trips through connected automated vehicles. And then there's also a situation where all of this technology is allowing us to share things more easily and through a sharing economy. So what this will create is basically an automated environment in which efficiency will be greatly improved and greatly enhanced, which could reduce congestion and have impacts on just about every aspect of transportation that we think about. This summer out at AASHTO in Salt Lake City, we conducted a little audience poll, and what we asked the audience, there were about 30 people in the audience or so, what we asked them to do was basically rate the time risk and cost risk of various different AVCV related questions. So this question is, at what point should agency leadership become aware? Should we really start talking about it seriously in terms of something that agencies really need to start thinking about. And as you can see, it's really on the short term. Everybody's sort of got this intuitive feel and these ideas because of these prototypes that are out there on the streets right now and the rapid advancement of technology, that it's a short-term thing. Within 3 to 5 years, we're talking, most people said that we really should be aware of these things, and that the cost risk is medium to high, that if we don't do something, it could really cost us in the long run, that we could miss an opportunity there. Another question that we asked the audience was, how has your agency incorporated AVCV into identification, assessment, and prioritization of projects? And most people in their plans right now are just sort of saying, yeah, technology is out there, it's going to impact things. We don't really have any data to support anything in the real environment yet, but we know that we need to mention it, and we know that that it needs to be done. So in the 2040 plans and in the time frame we're looking at now, most people are just mentioning it and saying, yeah, there's technology there that could really radically change things. But I think in the next round of plans, 2045 and 2050, what we'll see is a lot more discussion about the potential impacts, and we'll probably have to go to some sort of scenario planning basis to where we account for the possibly dramatic impacts that automated vehicle technology could bring. So another way to look at this, overall, what's the risk for the industry and our readiness to plan for AVCV? And basically people are saying that it's medium to high. A few people said the risk is very high, in that this technology could have such dramatic impacts that we really need to change the way that we're thinking about our long-range plans and the way that we conduct our long-range plans, that it's not simply just a projection or a trend of the past, as we have been able to do, but what we're talking about is transformational change of the transportation system that could really influence how we invest in infrastructure. And it's break time.